in that we see how the diagnosis of immature and mature cataract. So difference is that where in immature cataract there is a graceless iris shadow present, finger counting at the close distance to the eye. There is a black shadow against the red fundal glow on right in the dark room. Then in mature cataract there is a pearly white lens, no iris shadow, vision reduced to the perception of a hand movement, and there is a no fundal red glow on light in the dark. So next is a nuclear or a hard cataract. So nuclear cataract tend to occur earlier than a cortical variety, often soon after the 40 year of the age. At first, the nucleus appears more refractile, and as the time progresses, it becomes diffusely cloudy and often yellowish in color. So, the cloudiness gradually spread toward the cortex, and the lens became a tinted dark brown color. So, there is a brown cataract, cataract lucens, and ultimately it became a black and called a black cataract. So, there is a cataract nigra. And the discoloration of the lens in the nuclear cataract is due to the deposition of melanin and other pigment and derived from the photooxidation of the aromatic amino acid present in the lens. So, at the maturity, the sclerotic process may extend almost to the capsule so that the entire lens functions as a nucleus, but hypermaturity does not occur. So, in the lentil sclerosis, lentil fibers undergo sclerosis. When this process is intensified, nuclear cataract starts, and nucleus becomes a diffusely cloudy and obstructs the light rays. So, the process may extend up to the capsule when it becomes a mature. But a very thin layer of cortex may remain unaffected. Lens appear brown or black due to the melanin deposition, that is the black cat, and it never become a hypermature. Progress is slow. There is the myopic eyes are more prone to develop these cataracts. Then in the symptom we see that there is a progressive dimness of vision but no polypia. Then defective vision is due to the myopic error and cloudiness of the nucleus, and treatment in that we can see there is a concave spherical lens in the early stage. So when there is a gradual impairment of the vision for a distance, it is initially due to the progressive myopia owing to increase a refractive index on the nucleus, that is the index myopia, and these myopia neutralize the plus power of presbyopia. Hence, a patient who was using a presbyopic glasses for reading is able to read better without any glasses when the nuclear sclerosis set in. This is felt as an improvement of the vision by the patient and is termed as a second sight. Then second is a change in a color value, particularly with the blue end of the spectrum as the lens is a yellow-brown in color. And third one is that ultimately, very slowly, there will be a considerable loss of vision due to increasing cloudiness of the nucleus. So this is a symptom of a nuclear or hard cataract. Then in the sign we can see that the lens is a brown or black, iris shadow is present, there is a reduced vision, counting the fingers or perception of the hand movement at a distance close to the eye. Then second is a dark room examination. So central dark area against the red frontal is seen in these nuclear or hard cataract. So this is a diagrammatic presentation of a nuclear cataract. In that we can see that how the nuclear or hard cataract is. So this one is a nuclear cataract. This is a nuclear or hard cataract. Then posterior cortical or cupiliform cataract. In that opacity develop in posterior cortex immediately below the posterior capsule. So immediately below the posterior capsule there is a posterior cortex opacity develop. So it is called as a posterior cortical or cupiliform. Start in a central area and spread slowly in the rest of posterior cortex, but never beyond this area. And cataract is made up of minute opacity with cholesterol crystal. Progress is very slow. Cataract remain as it is for years and it never matures. So, in the cupiliform cataract or the posterior cortical,
मॅम
hello,
मॅम लेक्चरला कोणच नाहीये, दोघीच जण आहेत आम्ही.
बाकीचे कुठे गेले?
काय माहिती.
मगाशी तर बरेच जण होते. काय प्रॉब्लेम आहे का? काय मी शिकवलेलं कळत नाही का तुम्हाला? हॅलो हॅलो
हॅलो
हा येतोय का आवाज
मॅम.
माझा?
हो, कुठे गेले काय माहिती मॅम. मी पण आता जस्ट बघितलं ना, तेव्हा बघितलं दोघच जण कनेक्ट आहेत आम्ही.
तुझं काय नाव आहे?
जागृती.
के जागृती. हा, कॉन्टॅक्ट कर सगळ्यांशी, बघ काय प्रॉब्लेम असेल तर मला सांग, म्हणजे मग तसं मला काय चेंजेस करायला. ठीक आहे.
हो
आता
चालेल. तेच बरं, मी पण बघते बरं कोणच नाही आणि मॅम बरं
आता तर मगाशी होते ना बरेच जण.
कंटिन्यू करतात लेक्चर बरं.
फर्स्ट सेशनला होते बरेच जण.
हो होते ना.
हा, आता हे जेव्हा लास्टचे 15-20 मिनिट्स असतात तेव्हा काय झालं माहित नाही प्रॉब्लेम. पण तू कॉन्टॅक्ट कर सगळ्यांशी, काही प्रॉब्लेम असेल तर मला सांग, त्यानुसार आपण चेंजेस करू. ठीक आहे. तर थोडं कंटिन्यू करते, एक 5-10 मिनिट राहिले. हां.
हो हो.
सो इंटरनेट कनेक्शन इज अनस्टेबल. इंटरनेट तर चालू आहे. Hmm. So, in the cupiliform cataract or the posterior cortical cataract, the opacity starts in the axial region of the posterior cortex and slowly progresses to involve the entire posterior cortex. So, in this, there is a posterior cortex involvement immediately below the posterior capsule, and it shows the other type of cataract may be supervene on it. It shows the symptom that is marked diminution of vision as the opacity is near the nodal point of the eye. Vision is poor in bright light, especially during the daytime. As the pupil become constricted in a bright light and the opacity is axial. Patient with a posterior cortical cataract always see better in darkness. So there is a dawn or dusk. And the signs is that even it is difficult to see with the torchlight in undilated pupil. So there is a difficult to see with the torchlight in a undilated pupil. And the exact position of the opacity is based and judged by a slit lamp and with a dilated pupil. It appears as a yellowish white layer in the posterior cortex. And next is that in the distant direct ophthalmoscopy with the retinoscope in a dark room, it appears as a central dark spot against the red frontal globe. So, fourth Purkinje's images is the blur. So, this is all about the posterior cortical or pupilliform cataract. Then, when we see a symptom, as we see that there is a marked fall in vision even with a small opacity, because opacity is near in a nodal point of optical system of eye. There is a no polypia or halo around the light. Vision is a defective and more in the daytime, that is the day blindness. There is a constricted pupil in the daytime, dilated pupil at night allows the more light rays to enter the eye. Then in the sign, we see that in the dark room there is a central dark spot against the red fundal globe. An examination by a slit lamp, that is, in that we see that location of opacity in the posterior cortex. Then next is the traumatic cataract. So when we see a traumatic cataract, it may be entire due to the concussion or penetrating injury. So, it is due to the penetrating injury or concussion. So, penetrating when lens capsule is perforated, and concussion that when the capsule is damaged and its semi permeability is altered. Then, next is the rupture of the capsule. So, how is rupture? Types. When the punctate opacity in superficial cortex, rosette shape, that is the petal of flower, then develop in the posterior cortex. In posterior capsule, it is a thin and easily damaged, that is form of opacity, and may remain stationary or progress till the entire lens is opaque. So, when traumatic cataract occur due to the concussion or penetrating, that when the lens capsule is perforated and capsule is damaged and semi permeability is altered. So there is a rupture of the capsule. And the types are punctate opacity in superficial cortex, rosette shape, that is petals of flower. It develop in posterior cortex and posterior capsule is thin and easily damaged, so it form opacity to the lens and may remain stationary or progress till the entire lens is fixed. Then next is a total cataract. So when we see a total cataract, in that we see that severely damaged capsule. So capsule is severely damaged in this, with the lens fiber come in contact with the aqueous humor, swell and become opaque. So Vossius signs that ring of a brown granules of pigment with a faint opacity may be formed on the anterior lens capsule just behind the pupillary margin. So when there is just behind the pupillary margin, anterior lens shows the opacity. So it is a ring of brown granules of pigment with a faint opacity is formed on the anterior lens capsule, which is situated just behind the pupillary margin. Then it is called as the Vossius. In the chemical trauma, that is with the chemical trauma that is mainly seen in animals like in naphthalene, lactose, galactose, thallium, etc., which shows a chemical trauma to the lens. So it is a traumatic cataract, mainly seen in animals. And when there is a trauma due to the radiations like infrared cataract due to the prolonged exposure, glass workers, furnaces, that is the heating worker, and UV cataract, which is the prolonged exposure to the minute UV rays in the sunlight, and irradiation cataract, that is due to the X-ray, radium. There is a direct action on dividing cell and on developing fiber of the lens with a long time to develop. and electric cataract, that is the passage of powerful electric current through the body. So this is all about the traumatic cataract, how the traumatic cataract is formed and occur. So these are the all types of the cataract. In next lecture, we can study about the other types of the cataract. Till that, have a good day. Thank you, all of you.